Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Up the Guts podcast. Joining as always is your host, Trent Yolton, and we are here to recap all the action from round 21 now. I know I keep saying it, but geez, finals are just around the corner, and if it's your first time watching the review episode of the podcast, this is what we do. So we go across on against every game, and then we rank each club's performance based on that game on a tier list. So the tier list consists of elite, contenders, decent, disappointing, and 5 a.m. St Kilda Beach. So without further ado, let's kick it off with the Thursday night clash between the Giants and the Bulldogs. Let's go. All right, so Thursday night was definitely a very disappointing game between the Bulldogs and the Giants. We thought it was going to be a really good game. Obviously, skipper of the Giants, Toby Green, got himself suspended, so that wasn't a good start. But I just put in the notes, what the hell was that? Because that's definitely what it felt like. What the hell really was that? We saw the key forwards, Odd Dogs, dominate with 5 goals apiece. Norton and Darcy. I was reading McNeil as I was saying that. McNeil also, got a bit of hair in my eye, guys. McNeil also contributed with 3 goals. As is English pushing forward and kicking 2 in the first quarter. He was instrumental, I thought. There's not much really to talk about this game, so I'm just going to put the Dogs straight in elite and the Giants straight in 5 a.m. St Kilda Beach. Now we move over to the Friday night game. Now this is a better game. It was a bit of a weird game as well, with the Adelaide Crows and the Hawks. Crows getting the job done here by 14 points, 15-11, 101, defeated 87. Silthorpe was again huge with 4 goals. Rankin kicked 3. Walker kicked 3. Dawson, who turned it on, especially in that second quarter, kicked 2 after a slow start. Neil Bullen, Fogarty and Saligo, other goal kickers. As in multiple goal kickers for the Hawks, it was Gunston with 4, and Ginnivan kicked the 2. We'll touch on Ginnivan soon as well. Disposals. It was a low disposal type of game, and I heard wouldn't necessarily say a stat, but a comment made in the pre-game to it that Adelaide Crows are known to keep opposition midfielders and opposition players in general down to low disposal games, and that was definitely on show here. For Crows, it was Dawson leading the way with 21, going at 81% and 2 goals. Keane also down back had 21, going at 81% as well, and 8 intercepts. Leading the way for the Hawks was D'Ambrosio, who kicked a goal to go on with 25 touches, and Amon had 23, going at 83% efficiency and 606 metres gain. But it was a swing of momentum, and it was one end that was the scoring end, which was really, really interesting. We saw the Hawks come out in the first quarter, kick 5. Then the Crows come out and kick the next 8 goals in the second quarter. Then the Hawks backed it up with another 5 in the third. But then the Crows just proved to be too good in the end. Silthorpe, again, as I mentioned, was a presence. 4 goals, 1 and 8 marks. So the question now of this game is going to be, does the 4 tools of the Hawks work? Now, they went in with the 4 tools: Colshadir, Jack Gunston, Marbio Chol, and who am I missing? Mitch Lewis. So they're the 4 they went with. They ended up subbing out Colshadir out of the game. I believe it was the third quarter, I want to say. And brought in James Warple into the game. I just don't know if they can go with 4 tours. What they were thinking, I presume, is, yes, we won't play him on the ground at the same time, and if worse comes worse, we'll play Chol in the ruck because he's so mobile. And by all means, Chol's had a good year, might I say. He's had a solid season. But I just don't think 4 tours can work, especially with the damage of their small forwards and high half forwards do around the ball. I just don't think necessarily with the 4 tools is the way to go. Let me know in the comments if you disagree, but I just think Watson, Moore, Ginnivan, who actually got McDonald playing as your high half forwards and small forwards, is your more your way to go rather than the 4 tools. And now it just comes down to the question is, who's the one that misses out? Now, Colshadir has been subbed out 2 games. I believe you've subbed out. Before I make that comment, let me just double check that. But I'm pretty sure he was also subbed out the week before. If it wants to load for me, here we go. If we go to round 20, Hawthorn. No, sorry, John Newcombe was subbed out. the week before. But he's another one who's out of form, so I need to try and find something in them. But it was Cole Shadir who was subbed out. The week before that was Mitch Lewis. Because I don't know if the 4 tools are going to work. Now, we mentioned also Will Day was really huge for most of the game when he was on the ground, but he has injured that foot again, and he's come away with a season-ending injury. That's his season done. They put him on ice. He can't do anymore. But he was just the heart and soul of that team, in and under. 19 disposals, going at 84% efficiency. Kicked a goal, laid 9 tackles, and also had 7 clearances. So it's a shame to see him go out, but we saw he was struggling, especially at halftime. He started on the bench and then played out the game, but it's now come to show that he's re-injured that foot. But Jack Ginnivan, now, Jackie boy, I think there's 2 ways you can definitely look at this. So Jack Ginnivan obviously was getting some feedback from over the fence, and he's gave away and he's given the finger. We know that's been like a trend this year, is the right word to say, I think, giving the finger. Now, all is well. I, if I'm being honest, couldn't care less. Give him the finger, you've lost, give him the finger, blah, blah, move on. But the way the reporter handled it the next day, and then the way Jack handled it, I think Jack could have went at it a bit more in a mature way, just saying, you think I'm going to talk to you, and then laughed at them saying, you're embarrassing. Imagine, which I think is true, when he says, imagine trying to get store stop me as I'm trying to get on at the airport, as I'm trying to get on my flight. Pretty much like, leave me the hell alone. But I think the way he said it, he could have gone and said, look, I understand what you're here to talk about. I understand that might not be the best look and we're trying to stamp it out this season, but I was copping it over the fence, and in the heat of the moment, I reacted. I reacted in the heat of the moment. That's all I'll be saying from that. No further comment no further comment from me. Move on and then go on with his day. And the comment of the reporter when she said, are you a sore loser? It's just not the way you should be asking a player. And smart-ass comments like when he said, do you think I'm going to talk to you? And she goes, well, you just did, didn't you? Or you are, aren't you? Whatever the exact wording she said it. Was just like, come on. Of course, he's not going to want to talk to you when you're making smart marks about that. But I think both sides didn't gain any positives out of that. But I'd be interested to see what you guys think about that whole situation. Did Jack Ginnivan handle it a bit immature, or was he in the right to kind of just trying to laugh it off? And is that something we need to get used to? I think this is a double-edged sword. I don't care about the way about giving a bit of cheek. Perfect example for me, I think, is Bailey Smith. Bailey Smith, obviously, we know has given the finger a few times this year, got the fine. He fronts up to the media, and he's not disrespectful to the media, but he doesn't back down from what he did the night before and pretty much says, look, this is what happened. I did this, I did that. Yeah, move on. And he stands by what he did and doesn't back down, but he's still respectful to the media in that sense. So, I don't know. Let me know what you guys think in the comments in regards to that. But Adelaide Crows, I'm going to put in elite because I think they're a flag contender. They are now the flag favourites as we talk about in the betting market. I'm going to put the Hawks in contenders. It would be elite, but I don't think I can put them in elite just purely because they didn't win the game. We move over to Saturday. Another game I don't want to spend too much time talking about because it was Melbourne defeating West Coast by 83 points. Goal kickers, you had Fritsch 4, Petty 3, Langford 3, Van Rooyen 2, and Cully. So Jai Cully picked up in, was he in? Yeah, he was picked up as like a category, not category B, but like in the preseason period. One of the last list spots you get, Jai Cully was added to Melbourne. Obviously, was a mid-season pickup for West Coast. Can't remember exactly the year, but was from the Daniel Stingrays. Went and played that extra year as a above ager. And halfway through the year, got picked up with some dominant performance. Had some few games where he was really good at West Coast. I think he had a game where he kicked 4. He's that forward mid type of role, but then finally gets his chance against for Melbourne and kicked 2 goals. So I thought he was really really good to see. He gets his second chance, and especially because he's a Melbourne boy. If you guys don't know already, I recorded this from my home in Devon Meadows. He played his junior footy at Lang Warren, so that's literally 10 minutes from me. So he's a Melbourne boy, so it's good to see him back there. If we have a look, he had 2 goals, kicked 2 goals as I mentioned, had 13 disposals, took the 7 marks as well, but also had 2 clearances. So it's really good sign to see. That's the main thing I want to touch on for this game. So because I don't want to spend too much time on this. I don't think Melbourne can go in elite. They can just go in contenders for that performance. And West Coast, 5 a.m. St Kilda Beach. Just has to be done it. And we move over to another one that I'm going to sound like a broken record, but there was a few smashings that I'm not going to waste my time talking about too much. So, but it was Gold Coast with an 84-point victory over Richmond. 16-11, 107, defeated 2-11. 2-11, that's really, really hard viewing. 23. King kicked 4, Bailey Humphrey kicked 3, Ethan Reid kicked 2, Long kicked 2, Farah kicked 2 as well. Anderson just continues. I think Anderson's is actually a real good chance for the Brownlow this year. I know I said it a while ago. Is Anderson a smoky? I said this, I reckon, about 8 weeks ago. And then didn't think much of it, but he's just been really consistent. I'm just worried about his row still votes off him. But he had 38, 8 clearances, 3 goal assists, and 12 score involvements. Geez, John Noble's been a good pickup for them with 30. 83% efficiency, 7 score involvement, 723 metres gain. I've banged on about this bloke for a few times now, but Joel Jeffrey, 26 going at 92%, 582 metres gain, and Miller had 25 and 8 score involvement. I'm really liking the season and the progression of Sam Banks, though. For the Tigers, he had 26 going at 81% efficiency, and Hopper also had 25. The Suns are the real deal, and they still have a game up their sleeve, so I'm putting them in elite. And the Tigers, 5 a.m. St Kilda Beach, just purely because I would have, if it wasn't 2-11, I'd put him in disappointing, but just at 2-11, you've got to put him there. Now we come up to Sydney v Essendon at the SCG, 9-14. 68, the Swans defeated Bombers narrowly by 14 points, 7-12, 54. Braden Campbell kicked 2 for the Swans. McInerney also kicked 2. And all single goal kickers for the Bombers, you had Clark, May, Perkins, Kako, Blackiston. Sorry if I'm saying his name wrong. Redmond and Guelphy. As for disposals, Brodie Grundy was huge and pushes his case to possibly be the All-Australian ruckman. He's had an exceptional season. Started off slow, but has really, really come on. 39 disposals as a ruckman, 32 hit-outs, 13 clearances, and 9 score rolls. That is huge. He's probably up against Grundy and Cherry. Now he has a bit of breathing room, possibly with Cherry suffering that injury. I think it was like a 6-weeker that he's out for. I don't know if he'll get back this year. He might come back one of the last games, but that gives him a bit of breathing room. But other than that, it's probably gone. He's up. Early days, it was Tom de Koning, but he's fallen off a little bit. So I think it's Grundy or Gorn. And Cherry's still there. I love Cherry. But so I'm saying it's out of them 3. Do they play 2 rucks this season? I'm not too sure. They have played Gorn and Grundy. Named Gordon Grundy in the same All-Australian team before, back when Grundy would be playing at Collingwood. So it wouldn't surprise me, but it's interesting to see how close if he goes. He's definitely going to be in the squad. Let's not kid ourselves there. He's definitely in the squad. Just will he be in the final team? Gordon, it's good to see him back on. He's just so clean. He's like a Rolls Royce, 30 and a goal. Heaney, 28 and a goal, 7 clearances. Blakey, when this guy the lizard is dashing off that half back line, getting some meters gain and just running and tucking the ball under his arm and going for a run is beautiful viewing to watch. 28 disposals going at 82%, 10 marks, 11 intercepts, 8 inside 50s, 7 score volume, 678 metres gained. McInerney also had 27 going at 82% efficiency and kicked the 2. Warner had 26 and Rampy had 25 at 88% efficiency and 12 marks. Andy McGrath spent a bit more time in the midfield this week, 28 and 7 clearances. James Jordan, we saw lined up. We've seen him do this a few times on key midfield, but he lined up with Zach Merritt and did a respectful. Sorry, it's got an itchy eye, guys. Did a respectful job keeping Zach Merritt to 19 disposals. So he can hold his head up high, that one. Jaden Nguyen, now this is a feel-good story. Obviously makes history as the first Vietnamese player in the AFL, touching things. It's good to see our game. That's the best thing about this game is that how multicultural it is and how many different nationalities it's touching. It's grown over the years, I understand that, but now to have the first Vietnamese player play is really good sign to see. And he didn't touch the ball that much, but he had a little bit of tussle. Gave it to Tom Papley a fair bit. Was not afraid of the contest. It was really good to see. But the Bombers, I'm just gonna put Sydney and Essendon both in decent for that performances. All right, here we go. I'm just having a drink for this one. I know. Saturday night, Collingwood v Brisbane at the MCG, and it was the Lions by 27 points, 10-5-65, defeated by 14-8-92. Side bottom, the only multiple goal kicker for Collingwood with 2. Morris, geez, wasn't Logan Morris absolutely amazing? Kicking 6. He just has this. He's undersized. If we get up his size, like when I say undersized, I'm thinking about like he just looks undersized. He's 192, 194. 191 even. So, against some of like the key defenders, there's some 196, 198. To kick 6 was really good. Really good. And he's just an X factor. And love how he smiles every time. It's really cheeky as an opposition. Like, after about the 4th or the 5th goal, it was getting a bit frustrating as a Logan supporter seeing him just kind of smirk. But it's just a kid who he clearly is loves his footy and really enjoying footy. So that's really good to see. Henry Smith, geez, didn't he come from nowhere? Faye's putting him in for his first game, kick 3. Rayner also huge with 2 and Bailey with 2. The Dacos boys led the way for the Pies, 29. Josh Dacos, 665 metres gain. Nick Dacos was everywhere in the first half, then Dunkley watched him tightly in the second half. Still had 29, a goal, 6 clearances, 2 goal assists and 9 score moments. Neil was really good. 36 going at 81% efficiency, 20 contested and 12 clearances. McCluggage had 34, 8 clearances and 7 tackles. Dunkley had 31, 9 tackles and 6 clearances, while Will Ashcroft had 30. Is this worrying signs for the Pies? There's a couple of things as a Pie supporter that I noticed on there that really sent maybe some alarm bells. I thought in dewy, wet conditions, Tom Mitchell had to play. He's one of the cleanest. He's so clean. That's his bread and butter. Clean and below his knees and gets the handball out. The person who's keeping him his spot away is Ned Long. Now, I've sang my praises for Ned Long, but in that type of conditions, we know his skills are touchy. And in that type of game, in that game on the weekend, it looked like when the pressure was dialed up, he just wasn't up to it. He was fumbling. Giving away handballs, look away handballs, and turning it over. So I just think Tom Mitchell needed to play in that game. Another thing is Charlie Dean. I'm not quite sure on Charlie Dean yet. I think he needs a bit more time to develop. Maybe put on some serious, a bit more size. But he played most of the night on Logan Morris and kicked 6. Positive is we saw Jordan Ngoe and Bobby Hill come back. I thought Jordan Ngoe for the time, 60 minutes that he was on, looked really good, bursting away from stoppages, kicked a goal to go along with 12 disposals. So I thought he was really good. I thought he was really good. But geez, the Brisbane Lions pressure was elite. They didn't let the Pies have an inch. That's how the turnovers were happening. The Pies didn't look like they had the clean ball movement that they normally would. They didn't have the freedom to run because the tackling pressure of the Brisbane Lions was at an all-time high. Their pressure ratings were so high. Cam Rayner laid 9 tackles. McCluggage laid 7. Zorko off a half-back flank laid 6. Dunkley laid 6. Darcy Fort in the ruck laid 5. Henry Smith as a key forward laid 5. Just their pressure around the ball was enormous, and I thought they were just cleaner. Will Ashcroft showed how clean he can be around the ball. Neil, we mentioned, it's super clean. And McCluggage is just a game breaker. You love the ball in his hands because he makes stuff happen around him. So the Brisbane Lions, to me, go straight into the elite category. And the Magpies, they're still going decent. It's not they need to get a wiggle on. They don't want to lose their top 4 spot in case a performance like this happens again. You want to have that second chance available to you. So I'm going to put the Pies in decent. Now we move over to Sunday, St Kilda v North Melbourne. And this was actually a surprisingly really good game. 11-12-78, the Saints defeated North Melbourne 10-9-69. Max Heath for the Saints kicked 2, as did Higgins. Larky, the Kangaroos just look such a better side when Larky's fit and firing. Kicked 3. Zerha also kicked 2. Wangani Malira, oh my God. Could Wangani Malira in the next 12 months become the best player in the comp? He is tracking that way. He's top 3. I said he's a top 5 player in the comp. He's bloody edging closer to a top 3 spot. 36 disposals, 9 clearances, 9 score involvements, and 677 metres gained. That's a massive game. Sinclair had 26, going at 88% efficiency and 11 intercepts. Clark had 25. Marshall had 24, 32 hitouts, 1 goal, and 7 score involvements. McKercher, who I think is one of the future, along with the next player, of the North Melbourne Kangaroos. So it's really good to see him. They trialled him on a wing and noticed that's not his spot. He's a half-back. He's delivering the ball. He had 36 disposals, a goal, and 642 metres gained. Sheasel had 33 to go on for goal. And Daniel was better, used the ball a lot better, 32, going at 91% efficiency. I mentioned Naz again. And Paul Curtis has been reported for striking, will be his second report for striking this year. So I'll be interested to see how that comes. But these are the games, when you get this close, North Melbourne, they just have to win. They just have to start winning it to prove to us, the supporters, us, the fans, the viewers, that they are improving. They are going somewhere. They falling short like this is just not cutting it anymore. There needs to be a stage where they break that barrier and go that extra step and come out on top of this game. This has happened too many times now. They've even had a draw this season. Until they take that step and start winning these close games, will we start having faith in them going, geez, maybe Alistair Clarkson is building something at the North Melbourne Football Club here. But until then, we can't show any faith into North Melbourne. They're too hot and cold. They put up performances like this, but they need to start winning them. So if North Melbourne, decent, they actually, matter of fact, they can just both go in decent for that performance. Another game I don't want to talk too much about. Geelong just love pumping Port Adelaide. It takes us all the way back to the 2007 Grand Final, doesn't it? But 88 points they won by, 23-15, 153. Defeated 9-11-65. Cameron kicked 6 and moves his tally to 75. We edge close to the season. I think this 100 could be on the cards, barring a major injury happening. Martin kicked 4, and 4 of them came in 5 minutes. Triple M were going absolutely bananas as I was listening to it, as I was driving. They were going absolutely bananas because I know Stevie J had played golf with him previously, and he labelled him as the X Factor. And then he kicked 4 goals in 5 minutes, just clucking everything. What a story that is. Neil also kicked 3. He's had a really good past few weeks, Shannon Neal, so that's really good to see. Stengel, Bowes, and Holmes kicked 2. As for the Port Adelaide Football Club, I'm going with George Yard. Not I've gone with, but George Yard has kicked 3, and Lord kicked 2. Holmes had 35 disposals, 2 goals, 15 score rolls, 875 metres gained. Bailey Smith, 38 clearances, 7 tackles, and 10 score rolls. Myers just consistently gets it done. 30, a goal, 6 clearances, 2 goal assists, and 10 score involvements. Manor had 26, 3 goal assists, and 10 score involvements. Wines battled hard with 32, though, 8 clearances, 2 goal assists, and 10 score involvements. One of the talking points was Osen Mullen. So Connor Rosie was a late withdrawal for the side. So that left Zach Butters on his own pretty much. And Osen Mullen blankets Zach Butters again for the second time this season, keeping him to just 10 disposals. I saw a post and a stat saying Osen Mullen has beaten every tag he's been given. Every role he's got he's blanketed them, except for Nick Dacos, who had 28 against him. So that's a really good sign for Austin Mullen, but it's also a good sign for, I don't know if you're going to get him, but Nick Dacos, that he can, against a quality tagger like Mullen, he's showing that he can run through tags. But Austin Mullen, it's just such a good weapon to have up his sleeve that he can tag. And they've also got Tom Atkins there, who can play on someone at stoppages because you know the tackling pressure he provides. But the question I put out to a group chat recently was this: Bailey Smith or Max Holmes? Which one are you taking? I think I'm edging closer to Max Holmes. Hear me out. Bailey Smith and Max Holmes, both incredible runners. Bailey Smith probably the better runner. But I think Max Holmes just is, and they both get meters gained, but I think Max Holmes is just a bit more damaging with the ball. When he gets the ball, you're a bit more nervous and afraid of what damage he can do with the ball in hand. Consistently gets meters gained, picks out targets that you wouldn't, not a lot of players might be able to see, breaks the game open with his run and carry, and now is starting to hit the scoreboard. So I think I might be edging to the Max Holmes side. Let me know in the comments who you've got, Bailey Smith or Max Holmes. As for the performance, the Geelong are a serious flag contender in my opinion. You can never write off Geelong. They go straight in elite. And Port Adelaide can go 5 a.m. St Kilda Beach. Now I'm looking here. Why have I got 3 left? If I have a look. Oh, this is why. Oh, no, I get it. Just ignore that for a second. So when I was doing the tier list, creating the tier list earlier, I accidentally... So I have a version of the Melbourne logo with the background, like with the white background, and then one where I've removed the background. So that's why the third one's here. So just ignore this. That's going to be stay down here. But the last game of the round was Fremantle v Carlton, and it was the Dockers 15-4-94 defeated Carlton 10-7-67 by 27 points. Goal kickers, Tracy kicked 3, and Miss kicked 3. Voss, who had a huge last term, kicked 3. Dudley kicked 2 as well. As for the Blues, Evans kicked 2. Disposals leading the way for the Dockers. We had Clark, 38 intercepts, 5 clearances, and 759 metres gained. Jackson was huge, 27, a goal, 18 hitouts, and 8 clearances. As for George Hewitt, especially in the first half, looked like no one was wanting to stand near him and was just taking the absolute piss, really, at the start. 36 disposals, 7 clearances, and 6 tackles. Cripps had 36, 21 contested, 9 clearances, 9 tackles, and 7 scoring rollers. Now, the Blues came out firing. If we go, came out, I believe they kicked 6 goals. Let's have a look. Did they kick? If we have a look here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2, 3, 4. Yeah, so they kicked 5 goals to 2 in the first quarter, and they were still just leading at the halftime break, but then the Dockers just absolutely blew away. I had it. As for Carlton, I'm going to put Carlton in decent, but I'm also going to put Freo in contenders just for that fight back and to be able to pull off the victory in the end. Let's go have a look at how the ladder now sits after round 21. So we have a new team on top of the ladder, and it is the Adelaide Crows jumping Collingwood into first place, both on 60 points, but Adelaide with a percentage of 144.1 to the Magpies 130.8. Staying in third spot is Brisbane. Fourth spot staying there is Geelong. Fremantle jumped to 5th. Gold Coast Suns jumped to 6th. Hawthorn dropped to 7th. GWS Giants dropped to 8th. Bulldogs stay in 9th. Sydney stay in 10th. Port stay in 11th. Melbourne jumped to 12th. Carlton dropped to 13th. And St Kilda stay in 14th. And the rest is the same as it was the last round. Essendon, Richmond, North Melbourne, and West Coast. So that's how the ladder looks after round 21. Let's go over how I ranked each club's performances based on that round on the tier list. So in the elite category, I went with the Western Bulldogs, Adelaide Crows, Gold Coast Suns, Brisbane Lions, and Geelong. Contenders, I've gone with Hawthorn, Melbourne, and Fremantle. Decent, I've gone with Essendon, Sydney, Collingwood, North Melbourne, St Kilda, and Carlton. No one in the disappointing category. I was a bit of a harsher critic this week and put 4 clubs in the 5 a.m. St Kilda Beach category, and that they were GWS Giants, West Coast Eagles, Richmond, and Port Adelaide. Well, there you have it, guys. There is my review of the round 21 action in the AFL. Thank you guys for listening. If you're watching this on YouTube, make sure to leave a like and comment on this video and hit that subscribe button. We are currently now at 217 subscribers. It was just not that long ago that I was asking you guys to get me to 200 subscribers. And now we're well past that and we're growing week by week. So I appreciate you guys for that, and welcome to any new subscribers if you're watching this right now. So yeah, make sure to turn that notification bell on so you don't miss whenever we upload. If you're listening to this via Spotify and Apple Podcasts, make sure to turn the notification bell on so you don't miss when we upload. Hit that follow button, leave a like and comment, and most importantly, share this off to a mate who you think might enjoy it, but also please leave a 5-star rating, as that does help push the show out there to new listeners. Thank you guys for listening, and until next time, I'll see you guys then.